England's latest squad announcement is out, and as always, it sparked plenty of debate. There is a few surprise inclusions, some interesting recalls, and of course, the inevitable names that fans feel have been left out. In this video, I'm going through the full squad, looking at the biggest talking points from the selection, what it might tell us about the World Cup, and which calls could prove to be the most controversial. Welcome back to the Louis Selling YouTube channel. I am back once again. Today isn't an analysis video. Instead, I'm going to be going through Thomas Tuchel's England squad for the March friendlies against Uruguay and Japan. It is a really interesting squad. As I said in the intro, there's a few surprise inclusions in here, a few recalls that are fully deserved, and of course a few players that have missed out. First of all, I want to say I like what Tuchel has done with his squads. He's kept that core group of players that you would expect, your Harry Kanes, your Hendersons, your Pickfords, and so on. But he's also given a few players chances who wouldn't necessarily be the first names in the team, because a lot of these players and other players aren't in the squad have been on really good form this season and do deserve a call-up, but it's just about fitting them into the team. And who knows, if they do well in this international break, they may earn themselves a spot on that plane for the World Cup in a few months' time. But we'll start with the goalkeepers. Jordan Pickford obviously will be Tuchel's first choice, England's first choice. There is no doubt about that. He is an incredible keeper. He always turns up for the three lines, wherever, whenever. Probably the best player in the last two tournaments, in my opinion. He always stepped up in those big moments. Number two, number three, Dean Henderson, Ramsdale, as expected. Henderson is definitely making a case to take that number one shirt sooner rather than later. He's been very good for Crystal Palace, very good with the ball, very good shot stopper as well. Probably one of the best in the league with some of the fantastic saves he makes. Ball playing, as I said, is probably slightly better than Pickford, but you just can't drop Pickford at the moment. Ramsdale, relatively similar to Henderson, pretty good shot stopper, pretty good with his feet, but probably third choice on this list. Not quite there just yet, but he's still a very good goalkeeper and does deserve a call-up. James Trafford in there as a fourth goalkeeper. No surprise there, very good young goalkeeper. Will most likely be England number one day. I suppose that depends on Cole Rushworth as well. He's a name that was probably knocking on this door, but we'll get onto him in a minute. James Trafford hasn't played too much for City, a few games, but still deserves to be a fourth choice in this squad. But the big name on here, the big surprise in this list of five goalkeepers, is Brighton's Jason Steele. I wasn't expecting the Seagulls to have any call-ups on this list. Some may say Danny Welbeck, but we'll come to that towards the end of the video. But Jason Steele, deserved call-up for his professionalism, how he's played in the Cups, but he hasn't made a Premier League appearance this season, so it is very surprising to see Tuchel give the 35-year-old a chance. Has never played for England, did represent Great Britain at the 2012 World Cup, but this is his first time being in a three-line squad. Very exciting for him, very exciting for Brighton and Brighton fans. But this one, I want to hear all your thoughts in the comments on this call-up. Will he play? I hope so. I really do hope he gets a cap in one of these friendlies. But it seems very unlikely with the other four goalkeepers that are here. But that remains to be seen. But fully deserved Jason Steele, especially his form under De Zerbi and the last couple of seasons. He's always stepped up when Brighton have needed. And when he was rotating in and out with Bart Verbruggen under De Zerbi, he was absolutely top class. Ball playing wise, I'd argue he's probably the best on this list. Very good shot stopper as well. So who knows if he will play. Onto the defence. Pretty much what you'd expect. Dan Burn has been in all the England squads recently under Thomas Tuchel. Has been pretty good for Newcastle. Was very good in all his England games. So this is no surprise. And he's almost guaranteed to be starting at least one of these fixtures and will most likely go to the World Cup. Gahey guaranteed to be in the starting lineups for both of these games and will be starting as one of the centre-backs in the World Cup. Was fantastic for Crystal Palace, one of the best, if not the best centre-backs in the league. Has gone to Man City, been like a water to a duck's back, or whatever the saying is. Has been fantastic there, slotted right in. And to be a player that goes straight into a Man City starting 11, you have to be decent. You have to have something about you, and that is exactly what Guéhi is. Lewis Hall does get in the England squad. I'm very, very happy about this. Has been, in my opinion, the best left-back in the Premier League this season. If you watched him for Newcastle against Barcelona, I know they did lose, but he was fantastic in that game. And throughout the season, he has been absolutely incredible. Fully deserved. And he probably will start one of these games because England have somewhat of a left-back problem. No Luke Shaw in here because of his injuries. There is another left-back in here, Nico O'Reilly, but I think he's slightly better in midfield. So Lewis Hall gets in this starting 11, in my opinion, and his form deserves to be recognised, and he deserves a spot in this squad and definitely the World Cup squad. Ezri Konsa, a player in here who, personally, I'm not too keen on him, but he does deserve to be in this England squad. He's a very good player, has been very good for England, very good besides or next to Guéhi in the past England squad, so it's no surprise to see him in here. And he's definitely making the case to be that starting centre-back, but I'm not sure if he will be just yet. Livramento has been called up, another Newcastle fullback, another one who is definitely deserving to be in here. One of the best fullbacks in the league this season, if not the world. Maybe that's a bit controversial, a bit far to say, but behind Reece James, he's one of the best in the Premier League. But Reece James has an injury, so he's not going to start. He's not in this squad. Livramento, that right back spot is yours. Harry Maguire has been recalled to the England squad. Had a lot of criticism in past years, past England squads, but I think he has earned this one. He's been fantastic throughout this season and last season. He has that experience. He's a very good centre-back, very good in the air, which I think England have lacked in recent squads. So Maguire deserving of a spot in this England squad, and definitely, if Tuchel wants experience, he will be going to the World Cup. Will he start both these games? Will he start one? Will he be brought on? I'm not entirely sure, but it's good to have him back. Nico O'Reilly, as I mentioned, is the next one. Will be in here as a left-back, but I can definitely see him covering in that midfield if needed. But it is stacked from this list, the midfield, so that probably won't be necessary. But having him in the squad is a no-brainer. Has been one of, if not Manchester City's best players this season. A young player who's worked his way up through the academy and fought his way into Pep Guardiola's first team. That doesn't happen too often, so fully deserved once again. The next is Konsa by Leverkusen. I can't say I've watched much of him this season since he's been in the Bundesliga, but for Liverpool, he was reliable, he was good, he's got a bit of speed, he's good in the air, good depth, so it's probably not a surprise to see him included in this team. But let me know your thoughts on Konsa in the comments below. Educate me a little bit on him from how he's been this season. Jed Spence, the next on this list, a player who can play right back and left back and also slightly wider and higher if needed. He's been okay for Tottenham, not the best, not the worst. Does he deserve to be in this England squad? I'm not entirely sure, but with Reece James injured, I can see why he is in here. If it was a World Cup squad and Reece James was fit, he's probably who I'd be replacing him with. Maybe controversial, Spurs fans might think differently, but from looking at social media, I don't think he should be in this squad. And my opinion as well, he's a good player, but is he international level? I'm not entirely sure. Not too convinced on him. John Stones has to be in there. There is no doubt about that. Fantastic experience. The best ball player in this list. And he's always turned up for England. I know he has injury concerns, but if he is fit, you have to take him. And he'll probably start a few of these games. In the World Cup, my starting pairing would probably be Guéhi and Stones. Guéhi because he's been unbelievable, and Stones for that experience and ability with the ball. But again, let me know your thoughts on that one in the comments. And the final defender that has been called up, finally, he's deserved this for so long. He got excluded under Southgate for too long. That is Fikayo Tomori. Has been brilliant for AC Milan. Was fantastic when he was at Chelsea. Very good ball player as well. He's got some speed in there. A top centre-back who deserves to be in this list. Will he start games? I hope he does. He deserves to. But there's so many centre-backs in here who, if they start, you'll say, yeah, fair enough. But overall, I do like that defensive list. Only change would be Reece James if he was fit for Jed Spence. A few honourable mentions. I genuinely think Lewis Dunk has been superb this season. Should he be in this list? Maybe, maybe not. It's a close one there, but maybe I'm being biased because I'm a Brighton fan, but I do think he deserves to be an honourable mention in here. If he did get called up, I don't think too many people would be batting an eyelid about it because he deserves to be in this list if that was the case. But there's so many good centre-backs, as I said, it's no surprise to see him not in this list. Into the midfield, Elliot Anderson. There's no surprises in there. He's been unbelievable for Nottingham Forest. We'll probably get a move to Manchester City in the summer. That seems increasingly likely. He's turned up for England in the last few international breaks when he's been given the chance. And he will be a starter in both these games and in the World Cup next to Declan Rice. There's no doubt about that. The next name on this list is one who causes quite a lot of controversy. That is Jude Bellingham. Some love him, some don't like him. I'm leaning more towards the not too keen on him side. He's a good footballer. He turns up in clutch moments. I don't think he's the best on this list at all, but he's clutch, so I understand why he's in the squad. I wouldn't be starting him personally. Having him on the bench to come on in those late moments in games when you need a goal is understandable. He's a leader as well. He's experienced, so I completely understand it. But there is many other players in this list who I would be starting over him. Now, a surprise inclusion, deserves to be in here, that is for sure, but I didn't think he would get in this team, and that is Everton's James Garner. Has been a standout for the Toffees this season, scored a few goals, has been very reliable in that number 6 and that number 8 role. Versatile, can play at fullback as well, so if you look at it that way, no surprise he's in here, and I'm glad that Tuchel has given him a chance. Just have to hope that he plays and shows what he can do, because having versatile players in a World Cup squad is so important. O'Reilly and Garner both being able to play midfield and fullback could be invaluable to this squad come the World Cup. Jordan Henderson is in as well. That experience in there. A lot of people weren't too keen on him being in the Free Lion squad when he was in Saudi Arabia, but he's back at Brentford in the Premier League. He's been fantastic for them this season. So again, having that leadership, that experience, and while he's playing well, shouldn't come as a surprise to many people. Kobbie Mainoo is back in the England squad as well. Deserved, has been very good under Michael Carrick. No idea why Ruben Amorim wasn't playing him. System, I kind of understand it, but when a player is this good, has this much potential, you have to play him. So well done to Tuchel for getting him back in this team, and he should play a few games as well. Another player who will probably be going to the World Cup. Declan Rice is the next defensive midfielder in here. It's Declan Rice. I don't need to say much. He'll be starting. He's a leader. He's fantastic. He's right up there for Premier League Player of the Season. As I said, don't need to say much. Arsenal probably going to win the league, and he's been a crucial part to that. Adam Walton in there as well as that number 6, that number 8, has had a few injury concerns at the start of the season, but he's been brilliant for Palace. One of the best midfielders in the Premier League. May or may not get a big move in the summer. We shall see. Manchester United have been all over him in recent windows. So he deserves to be in this squad. Has been brilliant. Does he start in these games? I'm not entirely sure. He may start one of them to get a few minutes under his belt in this Free Lion squad. But for depth and quality, definitely should be in here. There's 2 number 10s included in this midfield list as well. That is Cole Palmer and Morgan Rogers. The 2 main options to be in that number 10 role, in my opinion. Palmer, one of the best players in the world, has been fantastic for Chelsea. Even when it wasn't going right under Maresca, he was always there. He's always turned up. Hasn't been as good this season as the last couple, but he's still a player on his day who can make anything happen and be clutch, a bit like Jude Bellingham. Morgan Rogers, very similar. He started the season fantastically. Recent weeks he's dropped off slightly. He scored so many long distance goals. They haven't been coming off recently, so his stats haven't been as good. But he adds something different. He's strong, he's tall, he's very good on the ball. And that's kind of what you need in international games. You just need someone who's going to get the ball, batter through people, be physical and score those goals. No faffing about, just put the ball in the back of the net and make things happen. And that is what Morgan Rogers will do. He can also play out wide, same as Cole Palmer, so there's more versatility in there as well. Midfield list, very happy with as well. And finally, onto the forwards. We'll start with Jarrod Bowen. I feel like he's a bit Marmite for some people. Most love him and think he deserves to be in here, but I think there's a few people as well who are slightly against him. For me, should be starting for England. There is no doubt about that in my mind. On that right-hand side, has carried West Ham for his whole time being there at the London Stadium. He's the captain, he's a leader, he's a very good finisher, he's clinical, he's fast, he can make things happen, and he's a very good crosser of the ball. And that's exactly what you need in an England squad, as I said. Someone who is no faffing about, just make things happen. And what he's done for that West Ham team, who I don't think Irons fans will mind me saying this, have been very, very poor the last few seasons. Recent weeks they've been very good, but before that they've been very, very poor. What he's done for them has been arguably better than what most players have done in any team in the Premier League. So Bowen deserves to be in here, and in my opinion he should be starting on that right hand side over Bukayo Saka. He is also in there. Slightly a surprise, maybe not a surprise. I don't think he's been great this season for Arsenal. He's still young. He can make things happen though. When he turns up, when he's on form, he's very, very good. He also has experience in an England squad, so it's probably no surprise that he's in here. But does he start? For me, maybe not. Calvert-Lewin is in this squad. A surprise call-up. He's been fantastic this season. Deserves to be in here, but I don't think many people expected that to be the case. He started the season by saying he wants to go back to the Three Lions camp and be in the squad when he moved to Leeds. And that is what happened. He deserves it. He's been very good for Leeds, as I said. Scored so many goals this season. Scored some big, big goals for them as well. And he's been an integral part to them staying up this season. So well deserved. And this is exactly the type of striker England need behind Harry Kane. A tall number 9, physical target man. He'll get the ball, turn and put it in the back of the net. Also very good in the air as well. Eze in here as well. Started the season playing well for Arsenal. Then he kind of dropped out of the squad, which was a bit strange to see because he was very good. Recent weeks he's been fantastic. Scored an absolute wonder goal against Bayer Leverkusen. Has been in the England squad. Has won trophies with Crystal Palace. A leader, experienced, again deserves to be in here. Shouldn't be a surprise. However, the next is definitely a surprise. That is Phil Foden. Quality-wise, one of, if not the best players on this list, but form-wise and recently, the last year or so, 12 months, 18 months, he hasn't shown anywhere near the levels that we know. I get he's had a few injuries, but if you want to be in an England squad, you need to be playing well, and I don't think he is just at the moment. He's playing okay, but nowhere near what he should be doing. But it is hard to do in a City squad when you've got Ryan Cherky, Semenyo, Doku, Savinho, and so on. I understand why he's in here, similar to Eze, a player that can make things happen out of nothing, like Saka as well. But maybe not. He should or shouldn't be here in here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. There's another name who I'll mention at the end who I think could have been in this squad instead of one or two of these players. Anthony Gordon in the squad, England's starting left winger, Newcastle's talisman this season. Don't think I need to say too much on him. Deserves to be in here. I'm a little bit surprised with how many people I've seen not too keen on him. But what he offers this squad, that ability to stretch the pitch, the pace in behind, very clinical as well. Good on penalties, which is what you need in an international squad. Deserves to be in here. There's no doubt about that in my mind. The next, Harry Kane, has been disrespected for so many years. The best striker in the world. You've seen some of the things he's done in the Bundesliga, some of the things he's done in the Premier League. All-time England great, one of the best players to ever play for the Three Lions. Will start as the number 9. Gareth Southgate didn't help by playing him slightly deeper and letting him drop back too much. But when he's playing his game, I understand he's going to drop back. That's what he likes to do. But when he's playing how he wants to do, a little bit more licence to stay higher, this man is the best in the world. So Harry Kane in the England squad, starting striker, will be the main player once again. Maguire is in here as well. Been fantastic for Arsenal this season. Has stepped up when Saka has been poor. Can play on the right, can play on the left. Exactly what you need. Has been brilliant for England as well in recent teams. Fully deserved. Marcus Rashford is in here as well. Been really good for Barcelona. Now he's got out of Manchester United. Was very good for Villa as well. One of the quickest, if not the quickest players on this list. You need that in an international squad. a player who can stretch the pitch, get in behind, and this is what Rashford will offer. Versatile as well, can play on the left, a bit on the right if you need, and of course up front. Saka, I've already mentioned, and finally Dominic Solanke. This is an interesting one. A player who I rate very highly, but he hasn't been that good for Tottenham this season. Hasn't scored too many goals. He's had a few injuries, so I'm not too keen on him being in this squad. I think Danny Welbeck deserves it slightly more than him. Has scored double figures this season. Has been very good for Brighton. Is versatile. Can play out wide as well. Is experienced. Has been in big England squads before. And is a good backup to Harry Kane if you need it. And adds something slightly different to both him and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Maybe I'm biased again saying Welbeck should be in there. But I don't think many people, neutrals, will disagree on that. But yeah, I like the squad. I think it is a good squad who should be playing well in both of these friendlies against Japan and Uruguay. And this is probably very close to what we will see for the World Cup. James might be in there as well as a couple others. But on the whole, this is a very good England squad. My favourite inclusion has to be Jason Steele. There's no doubt about that. He's been brilliant and he absolutely deserves this. But let me know your thoughts in the comments on this Thomas Tuchel side. As I said at the start, a mix of experience, players who have been in the squad many times before, and players who have been good this season and are being given a chance to show that they deserve to be going to the World Cup, to America, to Canada, and of course, Mexico. But that is it for this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, do whatever you want with this video. Share it. Make sure that it gets those views. They help me out so much. Over 100 subscribers, have been there for a while. I'd love to get to 500 by the end of the year. I know it is a big ask, but we will see how that goes. But you know the outro by now. Do it with me. Feels a bit weird doing this one on an England video, but do it with me. Adios.